Did you know that America's commercial wine industry was started right here in Kentucky? It all started back in 1798 with historical ties to both Henry Clay and Thomas Jefferson. The first vineyard was established in Jessamine County, just outside of Lexington. Today, Kentucky averages more than 100,000 cases of wine, with more and more wineries popping up throughout the region.
There is no better way than to learn about all of these wonderful Kentucky wineries than with Kentucky Wine Tours. Not only will you get to drive through beautiful locations on your way to and from the wineries, but their all-inclusive tours include all of the tastings and a scrumptious meal. Plus, you get to learn how wines are made. This is a local traveler no-brainer. Well, I'm here with Gary Atkins, and you are the owner of Kentucky Wine Tours, and I am so excited about the day that you have planned out for us today. Tell me a little bit about Kentucky Wine Tours. I know that kind of started maybe 2 years ago.
We started Kentucky Wine Tours a couple years ago. Actually, my wife and I were on vacation in California at Napa Valley and done a couple of tours there and tastings and really enjoyed it. And so we decided that we thought that would be a great business in Kentucky to showcase a lot of the wineries and vineyards that's now growing rapidly in Kentucky.
Well, what a wonderful service to Kentucky. I'm happy to see people embracing Kentucky wineries, particularly because they were started here in Kentucky. I mean, we definitely have that over all the other states. We got some bragging rights, and these people are getting grapes that are grown right here in Kentucky, a lot of them, and so it's a great way to support our own state and our own community.
It is, and it's a growing industry. As the tobacco market went out, the wine industry, I think there's well over 60 wineries in the state of Kentucky at this point, and it is growing. And I think if people come out and try the wine, they will find that Kentucky is producing some great grapes and great wines.
We get a local traveler pass for an all-day tour to Acres of Land Winery, Chrisman Mills Winery, and Grimes Mill Winery. I can't wait to explore these wineries and learn more about the winemaking process. Let's jump on board and get ready to get wined and dined with Kentucky Wine Tour. Our first stop on the tour is an award-winning winery on Barnes Hill Road, just outside of Richmond, Kentucky. This 400-acre farm has been in the family since the 1940s. After growing tobacco for 50 years, the family decided to diversify into the wine industry. In the year 2000, Acres of Land Winery was born with their first grape planting. Today, this is a full-service winery offering tastings, tours, wagon rides, event planning, and fine dining. They say their secret to making award-winning wines is patience, craftsmanship, and pride.
All right, so we're here with Loyal Land, and we just jumped off the tour bus. We got in on a tour, and so I wanted to kind of corner you here in the barrel room so you could talk to me just a little bit about kind of the history of this farm. I mean, this has been in your family for years, right?
This has been in my family for years. We started buying property, or my parents did, back in the early 40s, and bought several farms that connect over the years. We were tobacco farmers. My family was in tobacco for over 70 years, but the tobacco production started going to countries where the labor was much cheaper. So we started looking for something different to do with the farm. So one thing led to another, and we found out we could grow good grapes in this area. So we decided to get into the grape and wine business to hold on to the family farm. That was our main reason for getting into this winery.
Well, and your wines speak for themselves. You've won lots of awards, I understand, and I guess they're quite tasty. What's some of the joys that you get out of winemaking now that you've kind of gotten into this business?
Well, I guess probably the best thing is watching that grape grow from the vineyard all the way to the bottle, and then going into the tasting room and let people actually taste that wine. Like anything else, there's a lot more involved in making a bottle of wine than first meets the eye. So you hope all along that process that things are going to continue to get better and make that best wine you've ever had. So that's one of the joys that I have, is watching this go from the start to the finish, and then actually get to taste the fruits of your labor.
Right. Well, I'm excited to taste those fruits of your labor too.
Great.
I understand there's a tasting room we get to go to.
We have a beautiful tasting room, and let's move up that way.
Sounds good.
Acres of Land Winery has a beautiful and also spacious tasting room area that lends itself well to a relaxing lunch with friends or romantic dinner. But it's also great for weddings, receptions, picnics, specialty dinners, and events. One stop here on the Kentucky Wine Tour, and you will see why the vineyard's scenic beauty is the perfect pairing for their wines.
All right, well, which one would you suggest to try first?
Well, I usually start out with the drier wines first,
Okay.
which in this case would be the Cabernet,
Okay.
and usually work towards my sweeter wines.
Okay.
So here's the Cab right
All
here.
right. I love these little glasses. They're really cute. Oh, it smells good. This is not a bad place to work each day, is it?
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it, as they say.
Oh, that's good. Wow, you can really taste the oak in there. You really can. That's a great oaky flavor, but it's smooth. What's the next one to try here?
The next one that I would taste would be the Vigneault.
Okay.
It's a little sweeter. We do grow that grape here in our vineyards. It's a French hybrid.
Okay.
And it's what I like about this wine is the balance. You have to be careful with sweet wines,
Right.
and not get it syrupy.
Right.
So we
That is
have
a
enough
great balance.
acidity in this combined with the sweetness, and that wine probably has one of the best finishes of any of the wines we sell.
That is really smooth.
Acres of Land Winery will tell you that they are proud of their roots, their vines, and their wines, and that their restaurant will offer you acres of possibilities. The executive chef, Robert Sharp, likes to cook with local ingredients and shows us one of his tasty dishes. Award-winning wine and delicious food? What more could a girl want?
Well, I'm here with Robert Sharp, and you are the executive chef here
Yes.
at Acres of Land Winery. Tell me a little bit about what you're going to cook here. I know you kind of are a lover of the local produce, as we are.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you've got some things here from different farms?
Yeah, Baldwin Farms, I generally try to get all my produce from the asparagus, squash, and mushrooms. And of course, this time of year, I get everything, but I'm kind of limited being December.
Sure.
And I'm stuffing a flounder, and I'm sauteing all these, and I'm gonna hit it with our Vigneault wine,
Okay.
saute it, and then it's gonna be in like a Phoenix cream sauce.
Okay.
And it's gonna be lobster, white truffle, and mashed potatoes.
Wow, that sounds so light.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm ready.
It's pretty heavy.
Let's get cooking.
We're at our next stop on the Kentucky Wine Tour. This winery is just a few miles away from America's first commercial vineyard. Now this is a history lesson I can raise my glass to. Chris and Denise Nelson's winemaking career all started on their wedding day. They produced a Riesling wine for their wedding and continued their marital winemaking bliss by opening up their very own winery, Chrisman Mills Winery.
Welcome to Chrisman Mill Vineyards.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. This place is beautiful and quaint and fun, and you've got all this great shopping behind me.
We do. So don't forget to look.
That's right.
Well, a little bit about us. We have been in business going on 15 years now. It is owned by my husband and I. I'm actually a retired architect by trade and have since then gone into the culinary aspects of the wine industry. One of the big highlights for us is we work with 100% Kentucky grown grapes. So we do support, it varies between 12 and 14 growers every year. So it's a lot of work. We see the family farms, and it's really neat when you see the family come out with their kids and their dogs and everything else, bringing the grapes out. So it really is, it hits home a lot. So that's one of the reasons we do what we do. So we'll get you guys starting to taste some wines. Our wines are mostly French-American hybrid grapes, which grow exceptionally well in this area in Kentucky. So that's one thing to kind of open people's eyes about these different types of grapes that grow here versus California. A lot of people come in and say they want Merlot or Cabernet. And those don't grow exceptionally well here. We have very short seasons, and we have late frosts that kind of kill a lot of the grapes that otherwise would not survive here, like Chardonnay. So we work with grapes that are really grow well here, and also work well for all of our growers that have never grown grapes before, grew tobacco. So we'll get you guys started here.
Good. Well, what's the first one you want to start with?
What I want to start with first is going to be our first Vineyard Reserve. Now this is a really neat one. One of the neat reasons on this one is that I love the label. The label is actually, that's the original up there.
Okay.
So done by my father again, Denton Lund. So this one is really a nice wine. It is a full-bodied red wine. It is made mostly from the Chambourcin grape. You're going to get a little bit Cabernet Franc and a little bit Cabernet, but it's a blend, a proprietary blend. And you just got too much. So what is neat about this one? It's got a great smoky flavor to it.
Okay.
We love serving this one with cheese. So extra sharp cheddar cheese is one of the selections that we've picked for this one. So when you come in and do a tasting with us, we kind of try to do a little bit of pairing in between and try to get you attuned to what would pair well with this. So when you go home with this bottle of wine, go buy a sharp cheddar cheese. I tell people just go to Sam's Club. They've got some great cheeses there, and that's exactly what you're eating.
Well, good. Well, and I know you have some culinary training that maybe helped you with some of these food pairings.
It does. It makes it even more fun because there's a lot of people that are intimidated by wine, not sure what to do with it.
Sure.
And are intimidated to walk in a winery. I mean, I know you're probably running into this too. Oh my God, what do I do in a winery? So the breakdown for me is food. I mean, everybody eats, everybody knows what food is. So if you can kind of entice them with the food and say, okay, now let's take it one step further. Let me show you how that pairs with the wine, or let me show you how to cook with that. Put wine into that food. And they're just, oh my God, eyes just open and the whole world is explored. So.
Well, good. Well, I'm excited. Already it has a nice aroma. Very oaky.
Yeah. It is. It is very oaky. It's very smoky. The Chambourcin grape, really neat smoke to this. And we've actually done this. This is actually oak aged in about 18 months in oak barrels, which you'll see over on the other side of the room. Well, next we're going to take you a little bit sweeter. Of course, you're tapering your palate just like you do when you're eating food. You want to finish with the dessert.
Right.
So we're kind of tapering you a little bit sweeter. This is called our Sweet Bourbon Red. Now, this was one of the ones I mentioned that has quite a few gold medals. The great thing about this is it really is a good culmination of what Kentucky can do, because this is 6 different growers. It's actually, 6 different grapes from 4 different growers. So it really pulls in a lot of different grapes from all the parts of Kentucky. And again, it's taking quite a few golds. Really, really fun. We do sangria with this one.
I like it chilled too. I mean, it has a really nice flavor profile while it's chilled, and it's almost caramelly. Like
it is.
In a certain part of it, it's kind of got this like rich caramel flavor to it. That's wonderful.
One step into this Tuscan-themed vineyard, and you will see why people love coming here to sample great wine, talk with the friendly and knowledgeable staff, and browse through all of their uniquely fun gift-shopped items. There's really something here for everyone. Plus, if you're lucky, you just may get a cooking demonstration. Denise uses her culinary skills to not only impart great food pairings, but also share some wonderful recipes using her wines. The chicken piccata we cooked is now one of my new favorite recipes. Make sure and check out both locations, the Vineyard in Nicholasville and the Winery at Hamburg in Lexington, for a wonderful local traveler experience. sad to say, it is our last stop on the Kentucky Wine Tour. This tour has been a wonderful way to sit back, relax, and let the good times roll. We have seen firsthand why acres of land and Chrisman Mills are award-winning. Next up is Grimes Mill Winery and Vineyard, where we continue the trend of tasting awarded wines and seeing wonderful destination spots. This Fayette County family decided to bring the joy of Italy back to Kentucky. Not only are they second and third generation Italians, but the family has also lived in Italy for a short time. They learned the art of winemaking in the basement of their grandfather's house and decided not only to carry on his tradition, but to grow the grapes themselves.
I'm here with Lois DeSimone, and you are a co-owner. You and your husband both own Grimes Mill Winery.
We do.
And I'm excited to be here because you guys have been open for about a year now.
We have.
This is something that it's kind of been in your family, right? This was,
Right.
Was it your grandfather?
My husband's grandfather.
Grandfather, okay, used to make it, right?
In his basement in Brooklyn. Yes.
Well, tell me too a little bit about the building. It's beautiful in here. I mean, the wood in here is gorgeous. And I know when I came in, you were telling me a little bit just about all the materials. I mean, you've got this beautiful copper bar. You've got these really interesting stools here.
These were horse stalls, 4 stalls. We gutted them, kept it rustic. We used for the ceiling eastern cedar and for the walls western cedar.
Well, tell me a little bit about some of the wines we're going to get to taste.
Okay. The Pinot Grigio we grow, the Sauvignon Blanc. We have chosen Bianca. It's a blend.
And I think
white
I
blend.
met Bianca, right?
Bianca is our winery dog.
So cute.
And we named her this wine after her.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you, Caitlin. In Italian, we say chin chin.
Chin chin. Oh, it smells good already, right off the bat. It has a nice smell to it.
This is aged in American oak. We buy our barrels from London, Kentucky.
Okay, nice.
Has a nice color, a nice bouquet. A little bit smoky.
Oh, is that what you call that, the bouquet? With it? That's good. See, I'm going to look like I actually know what I'm talking about here pretty soon. A nice bouquet. It does. Really good.
Really nice.
What's nice about it is that you get a little bit of that kind of interesting punch in the beginning, and then it ends very smooth,
right.
Which is nice because that's kind of what you want. You want that fullness,
right.
But you want to end on something a little bit smoother. So
yes.
The Kentucky Wine Tour is a great way to experience Grimes Mill Winery. The tour provides the perfect setting to have wine tastings with friends, both old and new. Here at Grimes Mill Winery, you can learn more about the 7 different types of wines produced here. They offer wine classes for both the beginner and those hoping to become a wine whiz. Today, I get a lesson on how to hand bottle Moscato. Now, this is a class that I don't want to skip.
Well, I'm here with Philip DeSimone, and you are a co-owner. You and your wife own this winery here, and you guys have been open for a year, but I understand that really the love of winemaking was kind of cultivated in you early on. Your grandfather's basement, right?
My grandfather's
And that's where
basement, it was old basement with these very thick stone walls and a very low ceiling beams, and once you went into it, you knew you were in a winery because it just sort of smelled as this, it was beautiful aroma. And as a kid, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, it was a very interesting smell. It sort of it lingers in your life and in your mind. And in that basement, because it kept all the aromas because it was low and damp, and it was a marvelous feeling. And then we used to get the wine to drink. They used to give it to us in Coke. So you would pour wine in Coke, and we would get a little bit of wine in Coke.
Well, so that kind of sparked your first, at least, exposure to wine.
Right.
What helped kind of develop this passion for wine to the point of growing your own grapes and harvesting them and making them into wine?
I was a tobacco grower, and I read on the tea leaves that the tobacco business was going to be gone. So I'm a believer of land should be used for something. And I looked around for over a year or so, what can I plant? Then this idea of grapes came about, so we planted our first set of grapes in 2003.
Well, and you grow different varieties
Yes.
of grapes than most people.
I grow 9 different varieties of grapes, and they're all French grapes, vinifera. And that means any grape that's grown in the Mediterranean basin. And so, yeah, that's what we are. We pride ourselves in having grapes that no one else has. Like we're the only Malbec growers, and we're the only growers of this petite Mansing.
Well, yeah, I'd read that you hand harvest them, hand ferment them, hand bottle them. So this is an operation. Well, we should give you a hand. This is a great operation.
You're going to get a hand in doing this,
right.
not me.
That's right. Well, tell me what I am going to be doing here.
You're going to be putting, we just poured some Moscato in these bottles, and you're going to put a cork on it.
Okay. So many people have wanted to tell me to put a cork in it, so I know
so
there's
you're
a lot of
gonna
people
put a cork
that are
in it?
happy to hear you say that.
You're going to put a cork in it, then you're going to put the capsule on, and we'll take you through that.
These grapes are not just hand-grown and picked, but they are also hand-fermented and bottled. Grimes Mill Winery and Vineyard welcomes you to taste their wines and learn all about the winemaking process that comes straight from Vino's mother country.
What a day we've had today with Kentucky Wine Tours. We've gotten to travel all over and see some of these wonderful wineries. We've cooked and tasted and corked and bottled. Whew! I had so much fun, I'm ready to do it all over again. Come on, Gary.
Amy, we've had a great day, but my goodness, it's getting late. But whatever it takes to make you happy, let's go.
Okay, good.